Welcome to this visual summary of the Arctic Wolf 2026 Throw Report. This video is going to walk you through the report on a high level so you can get a really quick overview of the content and the key highlights. Just remember to download the complete report for a much deeper understanding. All right, let's jump right in.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the new rules of attack. Then we'll dive into today's top cyber threats. After that, we'll talk about building a stronger defense. And we'll wrap up with your cybersecurity next steps.
Okay, so the first major theme of the report is a pretty powerful reality check. In cybersecurity, attackers aren't really winning with brand new, super complex methods. Nope, they're winning by taking the path of least resistance, exploiting the basics that we sometimes overlook.
And this quote from the report just absolutely nails it. It really sets the stage for everything else. It's this fundamental lesson that, honestly, a lot of defenders learn the hard way. The most common attacks are effective precisely because they're simple and they target those foundational weaknesses. Now this is probably the single most important idea in the whole report. Think about it this way. Instead of a thief smashing a window, they're just walking up to the door and using a stolen keycard. Attackers are bypassing all our complex defenses by using legitimate, often stolen, credentials to just, well, log in. So what this means is our defensive mindset has to shift big time. For years, we were all focused on building higher, stronger walls. But the new reality is that the real battleground is identity and access. It's much less about the perimeter and a whole lot more about who has the keys.
Okay, so with that new rulebook in mind, let's take a look at the threats that are actually causing the most damage right now. And this is all based on real-world data from the report. So for the fourth report in a row, ransomware is still the dominant threat. It accounts for 44%. That's nearly half of all major incidents that Arctic Wolf investigated. It truly remains the undisputed heavyweight champion of cyber disruption.
And let's put this in simple business terms. Ransomware is a direct assault on your operations. It's not just about losing data. It's about your entire organization grinding to a complete halt, unable to serve customers, process orders, or, function at all.
But here is the other side of the story, and it is a huge one. Incidents that just involve pure data theft and extortion, well, they've seen an explosive 11-fold increase. That's a surge of over 1,000% in just 1 year.
And this really shows you how adaptable these attackers are. They've noticed that businesses like yours are getting way better at backing up data. So instead of locking your files, they're just stealing them and threatening to release your sensitive information to the world. It's a really smart strategic pivot to keep their leverage.
This quote from the report just confirms that trend. It shows that our defensive improvements are working, but they're also forcing attackers to evolve their business model. They will always find a way to monetize their access if they can get it.
I know, this all sounds pretty daunting, right? The threats are persistent, they're adaptable. So, what's the solution? How do we build a defense that actually works against the way these attacks are really happening today?
Well, let's shift gears and get to the most empowering part of this whole summary. The report lays out a really clear, no-nonsense path for building a more resilient and effective defense.
And the core message is this: defensibility beats novelty. The most effective strategy isn't about chasing the latest, shiniest security tool. It's about mastering the fundamentals, investing in proven foundational controls that make your organization a much, much harder target.
The report's recommendations can really be boiled down to these 3 strategic pillars. Just think of it as a simple, powerful framework. Control who gets in, secure what they can access, and see what they're doing.
So let's start with step 1. Since attackers are logging in, managing who has the keys is your #1 priority. This means centralizing access, regularly checking user accounts, and, this is crucial, enforcing strong multi-factor authentication, the kind that can't be easily tricked. Step 2 is all about hardening your environment. These are basically the digital versions of locking your doors and windows. Simple things like not allowing administrative access from the open internet and consistently patching known vulnerabilities dramatically reduce an attacker's ability to move around even if they do get a foothold. All right, we've covered the new rules of the game, the top threats, and the foundational strategies for a solid defense. Now, let's bring it all together and talk about how you, as a business leader, can actually put these insights into action. So here are the 4 crucial takeaways from this report. First, the battle has moved to identity. Focus on the logins.
Second, be ready for both operational disruption from ransomware and the reputational damage from data extortion. Third, focus your energy and your budget on mastering the basics. And finally, and this is so important, remember you don't have to face this challenge alone. To get started or continue your cybersecurity journey, reach out to Cuebid, your expert partner in communication, data center, and security operations. Together, we help you build cybersecurity from the ground up. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to download the complete report at cuebid.se, available in our Knowledge Hub.